Frozen Flygon whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying Flame Fatales. I am Kung Fu Fruit Cup, and I am the interstitial lead here at for Flame Fatales in general and for this Flame Fatales event. Now, interstitial is kind of like the in-between the runs kind of content you see here, interviews, prizes, etc. I know it's a strange word that I feel like people don't hear enough, but that's my position. But today, I am talking with Court, or Frozen Flygon, who is...
Yeah, I am here not as a prize presenter for once on the couch, but I want to be talking about my position as the event lead for Flame Fatales, like kind of in charge of the studio, the Discord, and the event. And I'm really lucky to be able to get to do that. I love it.
Yes, awesome. Well, thank you for the intro. I wanted you to do the self-intro. But I wanted to talk to Court today because I felt like it would be a good opportunity to go over Flame Fatales with you all. Just kind of the history of it, like how it's come to be what it is. And I thought Court was the perfect person to talk to go on this journey together because we've both been involved in it. So
pretty much the beginning of it. And
exactly.
I'm sure a ton of people don't know when Flame Fatales actually started, but it was in 2019. The first marathon was actually an invitational. So the organizer of it, Muffins, reached out to different women in the community and was like, I know you run this game. Do you want to be, in our event? And that was before my time. But I remember watching the first one on Twitch and being like, hey, this is really cool. So it was really important to me to have that.
I agree. Yes, I agree. Yeah, I remember it was kind of like something that came about through Hotfix. As Hotfix with GDQ, Hotfix is like our daily shows that we have now, was starting to grow itself as well. So we wanted to expand our content here at Games Done Quick and include more things. And why not feature women in the community, promote more women to get into speedrunning, and kind of go from there. So I know Court has like a whole timeline prepared, which is awesome. And I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about how it grew over the years. So why don't you share a little bit about that kind of progression?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like the first two events that we had, it was in 2019 and it was mostly just, showcasing runs. It wasn't associated with a charity or anything like that. And then Frost Fatales 2020 was our first event out of the studio, which we are here now. And it was run by Fatales in the community, which was really important for us to get people learning the tech and being a part of event production. And so that one, we raised over $50,000 for Malala Fund. That's when we started our partnership with them. And so it was really cool to be able to run like a charity event top to bottom with all of our runners and volunteers doing the event.
Yeah, I agree. We were talking a little bit about kind of how it started, before it got into the studio, let's say, and, kind of running it, just all the pieces of production at once before we had the studio here.
And were you one of the restreamers for the second event, right?
I was.
Oh my gosh.
So I was called in hey, can you come in and help? And I was running it out of a basement, all of the pieces oh my gosh, am I doing it right? They're overnight. So I was taking out night shifts. And it's so funny that it kind of progressed from that. And then me being on the interview team with mainline GDQ events, it kind of naturally transitioned me into, hey, we want to speak with Malala Fund, people working with Malala Fund, et cetera. Are you good to do that? And I was like, sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it worked out really great. And now it's we're here. And for the first time, we have an interstitials team, which you're getting to lead. So we've come such a long interstitial
I agree.
Since then.
I agree. I know, it's been really cool. I even had a volunteer position for one of the events, kind of transitioning into full just interstitial content.
So cool.
I worked the soundboard. It's pretty intimidating for the first day or so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then you feel really good once you get used to it. So I highly recommend those who are interested in this kind of event to apply to be a volunteer in studio. It's really fun, and you get to interact with more of the members of Flame Fatales. So that's just kind of my 2 cents on that.
I totally agree. I mean, that's how I got started, was just so after the first one I watched, I just joined the Discord, just hung out in the community for a while. And then for Fleet Fatales, that was when I was first actually hired by Games Done Quick to help work the event. I was the runner and volunteer liaison, so I worked with the people in the Discord to make sure they knew what was going on, ready for their runs and all that kind of stuff. And then I came to the studio for the first time for Flame Fatales 21. And that was an incredible experience of oh, this is all the stuff that goes on to prepare a marathon. Spoilers, it's a ton of work, but it's so rewarding. I love being here. And now it's so great that we get to, Fatales from the community can apply to come here and volunteer as well. The people in the control room right now. It's amazing.
I know, and you do a wonderful job as event lead. Like, we're so lucky to have you. And I mean it. Seriously.
Thank you.
Yeah, Court here does a wonderful job, and I know that it hasn't been easy. I know, like, you kind of got you got integrated into the community, into the events, and then tossed into leading, and here you are. It was kind of amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Frost Fatales 22 was my first event as the lead. And funny enough, it was the week after I got married. So it was a whirlwind of 2 weeks. Yes. But at the end of it, it was like the best 2 weeks of my life. So it was so much fun. And I'm so lucky that now, as the event lead of Frame Fatales, I get to continue doing this twice a year, continue working with like some incredible people that I love so much, and, get to put on an amazing show for everyone.
I agree. Well, so I know, like, kind of as we've mentioned a little bit back and forth, like, I know that this event growing, this community growing hasn't kind of come without some hurdles. Like, what would you say in your mind have been some of the biggest hurdles that we've faced, like growing, getting things, I don't know, making things happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big thing is that, like, so GDQ staff, they are incredibly, incredibly supportive of us in our events. I mean, we're here in the studio, borrowing their space. The thing is, the staff members are extremely knowledgeable. They know a ton about production, all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it lives in their head, and getting it out to the rest of us of how do you do this? How can we do this? Can sometimes be a struggle because they just know how, but don't know how to explain it. So that's definitely been a process for me, because I'm not necessarily technically minded, but I want to know all of the processes that work so I can equip my team. And so that's definitely something that's like, we're trying to disseminate information so that the Fatales can run the production as much as possible.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a really good answer, and not one that I considered. Because I know that there's all kinds of different things that have gone into like us growing and continuing to like get the word out there, et cetera. Yeah. But with that, I think we have such a wonderful, solid community, and like it's really, really cool to continue to see it grow, to see people join the Discord, to be a part of the events, to be like, oh, we have so many people now that we can't even include everyone and all the volunteers.
I know.
And it's like, how do you even sort through that?
Absolutely. And like, speaking of the Discord, we have almost 1,000 Fatales in the server right now. I checked last night and it was like 974. So it's like,
so close.
When we started, I joined when it was less than 100 people.
Wow.
And now it's like, oh my gosh, we're almost at 1,000 people. And so if you want to join, if you're watching this and you're like, that sounds fun, you don't have to be a speedrunner, do !FF in chat and you can see how to join our Discord, because we'd love to have you. We have a channel where we're talking about the event and sending memes and hanging out. And it's just, I want to continue to see it grow and people meet each other. It's
exactly.
so much fun.
Well, then there's also like other activities in there. You can like Game of the Month and all kinds of really fun things. So it's a super good community to be a part of. It's really wonderful. And now I feel like that kind of goes really well with like what I was going to follow up with, because I was going to say like some of our biggest triumphs that we've had here with Frame Fatales, like all of the things that we've done, especially in our partnership now with Malala Fund, like how much have we raised at this point? And what other things would you say you are, I guess, the most proud of or like excited about?
Our total raise for Malala Fund across all of our events is over $650,000. Like someday we're going to reach $1 million raised here at FF.
That's amazing.
Which is so cool to be able to say, right? Like when I talk to my parents and my parents' friends about this, and they're like, oh, like how much money are you raising? I'm like, last event we raised $150,000. They're like, oh, that's a lot. Wait, it's like, yeah, it's a big deal what we get to do for charities. So that's always, of course, going to be the biggest triumph. But also, like what I said about like training all of these people, I've learned so many skills from being here in the studio about like people management, but also the technical side of how events run. Like just learning about production is so incredible. And I hope everyone here is loving that experience too.
Yeah, I agree. I know. I think it's been amazing. Okay, now I want to switch gears a little bit. I'm sure people are wondering kind of about our name and our mascot.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So I wanted to chat about that for a little bit. Like I remember being a part of the discussion on like, what are we going to be called? I remember that discussion, and I remember it kind of getting into like, what if we do a play on like the femme fatale, but then you have like frame fatale. So you have like, it's like the whole like strong women in speedrunning.
Yeah, you're
like,
saving the phrase and,
exactly.
Connecting back to speedrunning. I really like the name. I think it's so much fun.
I agree. I think it's great. And I love that we've been able to develop kind of like our Flame and Frost based on it. It's super cute for like summer and winter events.
Exactly. And and then like the mascot Faith actually predates GDQ's mascot Velocity.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
So the person who was running FF before me asked our artist LOK, can we have a mascot? And LOK was like, sure, let's do it. Let's do a trial run of it and see if the community likes it. And I feel like we have run away with Faith. Faith is a fan favorite. And so then, Velocity came to be from that. So it's like, FF is not an important piece of GDQ history too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I legitimately didn't know that it was in that order. That's super cool. I mean, because like Velocity's great as well. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But Faith is
My
wonderful.
girl Faith. I
Yes.
mean,
I know. We got our Faith emotes. I'm sure anybody watching this right now, just show
Faith
us
pop in
some
chat.
faith.
Come on.
Faith in chat.
I want a sea of Faith pops.
Okay, good. I agree. Perfect. Okay, I love knowing that. But then before I let you go, I want to know what, as the event lead, are your goals for the future? What things are you looking forward to and are hoping to experience or encourage to happen?
Absolutely. So my goals for the future are that someday we would be able to host a live Fatals event. That's one of my major goals, is that we could come and support each other on the community and have the women be really on stage, have the applause, like be able to invite their friends and family to come see them. Because of course, like, we're a remote event, which lets a lot of different runners from all over participate, and we would still do it hybrid so that could happen. But then having that live experience of having people cheering for you on stage, like, I want to be able to give that to the community members.
Yeah.
So that's a really big one. Another one is just to continue to be able to have more and more Fatals be involved in the production as much as possible. And so that's continuing to grow every single event as we are able to, expand and have more people be here.
Exactly, like our new team here, which is
Exactly.
really cool. Yeah, it's so exciting to just like see how far we've come and to kind of like learn a little bit more about how we've grown to get to where we are. So I appreciate you very much speaking with me, Cora.
Of course. I love to get to just talk about this kind of stuff because it's really
Right.
interesting to me to look back and be like, wow, we've accomplished a lot. We're going to get to continue doing that.
Yeah, which is amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending some of your time, because I know you're always very, very busy. So much appreciated. I hope you all enjoyed learning a little bit more about Frame Fatales in general. And we're so excited to have you here, have you donating to help support Malala Fund and all of that. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Hello, everyone. You are watching Flame Fatales 2023 in benefit of Malala Fund. My name is Tozzle, and I am so excited to be back as host for these upcoming 3 runs. And yes, chat, I am saying 3 because I just know that we can meet that bonus game incentive. We're going to extend day 5 of Flame Fatales. We're going to raise money for an amazing charity, Malala Fund, and we are going to have so much fun while we do just that. We are just under $4,000 away from adding Peggle Nights to this marathon. So we need to raise that fever meter to reach the 60K milestone. And I think we need to ride a $6.66 donation train for the rest of this evening to watch Satan herself play video games. That's right. The runner's name is Satan herself. It is amazing. I've also done some number crunching, chat. And if we need less than 666 tickets for this donation train. If we do that, we will smash that fever meter. I know the runner, Satan herself, really wants to showcase this game, and I saw a sneak preview of the speedrun already, and it's incredible. I was mesmerized, chat. And I also heard, I was messaged just before this run, and Satan herself PB'd in practice. So Satan herself is totally ready to do this run for us. A $6.66 train to add Satan herself and Peggle Nights to the schedule. That would be awesome. And chat, these train tickets are like 4 for 1, at least 4 for 1. And I'm going to tell you why. Your donations are going to an incredible cause, Malala Fund. That's 1. 2, you'll be entered to win some of today's fabulous prizes. 3, you can put your donation towards an incentive for one of our upcoming runs, like the bonus color dungeon for the Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX incentive. So in normal gameplay, that dungeon is where you pick up the red or blue tunic. So this is to add this run in randomizer mode, this dungeon in randomizer mode, which means we have no idea what we're going to get, but we're going to have fun doing it. So we just need about $1,100 more to meet that color dungeon incentive. And 4, all of these donations will go towards our 60K goal to get Satan herself up here on the Flame Fatales stage. Okay, but before we get to Peggle Nights, we're going to set up one of my all-time favorite Zelda games, so please stick around. Okay, so to give you a little bit more information about our upcoming Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening run, this is a 2-instrument randomizer run. So this means that Air Angel needs to find any 2 instruments to move to endgame of the run. So these instruments could be anywhere, chat. But before we get to endgame, we want to meet that bonus color dungeon incentive. So get your tickets to this $6.66 donation train. I also want to tell you a little bit about the run that's following The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, because we have more runs planned for you this evening. We also have Cassette Beasts. Cassette Beasts is going to be run by our runner Corvame. And let me tell you, this is one of the most chill speed games I have ever seen. I have never been more relaxed while watching a speed run in my life. And for those of you who are retro or into retro, like me, there is an item in this game called Rewind. Okay, chat, it's a pencil. Do you remember what we used to do with pencils and cassettes? That's right, chat. It rewinds the cassette tapes and restores full hit points to one of the tapes. This makes my soul happy. It is so amazing. And there's also some great bid war incentives for that run. We have Name the Player. So that's to name Corvame's player. It's an 8-character limit. But we also can name 2 of the other characters that she'll be playing. We can name the Brush Room and the Sirenade. So both of these have 11 characters maximum. But the cool thing is, chat, the cool thing is that every time like a name takes over first spot, Corvame will be changing that character's name throughout the run. So this is going to happen throughout the entire run. Anytime a new character name takes over the one-player position, the first position, that will be the name that either the Brush Room or the Sirenade gets switched to. So that is a really, really fun incentive that's going to have us. I just imagining the chaos until we get to the final boss. So lots of fun stuff there. We also have the Cassette Beasts befriend Barkley the dog. So Barkley the dog is the only non-human partner in the game. Barkley the doggo. So you befriend Barkley and then you take them to the final boss and use him for the final boss. Pretty cool. So I'm really excited to be here for these next 3 runs with you all. Chat, let's go. Okay, it looks like the Windfish is ready for us. So please welcome Air Angel and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX 2-instrument randomizer run. This is the sound of an ocarina. Take it away.